Game development is a hard, extremely mentally taxing endeavor. It requires patience, cooperation, problem-solving skills, intellect, foresight, drive, passion, a clear vision, mental illness. I think you get the point, but despite all the hurdles every single game dev has to face, they'll still find ways to pump out great games time and time again. But with any industry, there are going to be some interesting characters. No game dev is perfect, but some
Yeah, yeah. Like there's something that not many people know. That making game is hard. I believe it is way harder than making a movies. Because when you make a game, right, you have to think about the world that can be explored. And you don't have to do that with movies. Movies you just need to frame up the frame. And you don't have to worry so much about like the world surrounding it. What importance is on is within the frame. So anything you show in the frame, that's what matters. But for games, it's different because you give the players the ability to move around, to look around, to interact with it, meaning you have to construct the world with the mindset of explorations, and it's already like a more difficult task.
are
Coding is really tiring, which some people don't understand. Like, yeah, like I imagine for some people, you just like, oh, click on the button, make games. Click on this, make this character move. Super easy.
are better than others. Some get too caught up in their vision and just keep adding more and more to the game, not knowing when to stop. Others pump out quick cash grabs, trying to take advantage of their trusting audience. Today,
Yeah, and yeah, about this like specifically right
better than
here.
others. Some get too caught up in their vision and just
Some games to cut up in their vision. That's that's one thing. A lot of indie developers does they don't get it because right, you when you have these ambitions in your mind, it's very easy to say, "Oh, I want to make an RPG. I really like Final Fantasy, so I'm gonna make a Final Fantasy clone and put my own story in it." What could go wrong? I play Final Fantasies like 200 hours. I think I understand the game mechanics and the nuance of it. And then when they actually try to build it, they slowly realize there are so many things that got put into every single tiny little mechanics, features, the world, the characters, and they just couldn't do it. And the scope of the game really scales up, and that just doesn't work. I just think it just beeps and boops. Yeah. Well, for the commoners, I think that's how they see it.
keep adding more and more to the game, not knowing when to stop. Others pump out quick cash grabs, trying to take advantage of their trusting audience. Today, I wanted to talk about a few peculiar characters and attribute them to one of the 7 deadly sins: pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. These are the 7 deadly sins of game developers.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what the 7 deadly sins.
My mistake was thinking that video games are. I
Oh,
want to make a game.
oh,
My mistake.
oh, oh. I like that he brought this up. I think he might talk about it later in the videos. I'm interested to see. If you know the history behind this, this is very cool history. It's unfortunate, but it's a cool history nonetheless.
Was thinking that video games are art. I want to make a game about a guy who's like a piece of shit, unlikable character who by the end of the game has to transform.
If you're gonna
Transform.
have enough subscribers, you're gonna make enough money on your Patreon thing, and somebody's gonna get tired of your shit and they're gonna sue you.
Stop sending me emails.
Pride was an easy one for me. Lots of people let the popularity of their games get to their head, but not many of them are nearly as notable as Phil Fish, the lead.
Yeah, okay. He's getting into it. You will understand the history behind Fast. One of the best game back then, almost the level of Undertale, really. But there are some serious shit going on behind the scene.
Developer for Fez. Now I'm sure you've all heard of Fez. It was everywhere back in the day. Hell, even I knew what it was, and all I did was play Minecraft and watch MLG meme compilations. But I'm here to talk about its developer, Phil Fish. Now there's something fishy about this Phil character. I'm sorry about that quip. I couldn't help but to make that joke, okay? You can't blame me. This Canadian-born man was interested in game design at an early age, citing Nintendo games as one of his earliest inspirations. He would go on to work at Ubisoft, but realized that kind of work in the industry wasn't for him, as in his mind, it felt monotonous and robotic. What he wanted was passion, innovation, and most of all, respect. Boom, Fez. The moment he revealed this game to the public, not even a demo mind you, just simple screenshots, people were enamored. As time progressed, his game would only get more recognition from people online, and even get him attention at award shows. It seemed as if all
Yeah, like Fest was everywhere back then. Like, yeah, again, like it's almost to the level of Undertale in the modern age. Like everywhere you go, you just see Fest. Like back then when there was E3, Fest was like one of the biggest game in E3. This guy looks like Ryan Reynolds if he was a game dev. He doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds, does he?
eyes were on him. Well, too bad this guy is a somewhat pretentious, too good for everyone else dope. This dude is just literally Alex Yeek, but somehow more insufferable. Keep the thought of Yeek swirling in your mind because I'll bring it up later, by the way. This guy was not a pleasant man to be around at all. It seemed
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Where like yeah, you can already tell in the video. Fish, the developer, was a dick. He he's he has a very big ego where he doesn't like it when someone doesn't like his game or say anything negative about it or anything negative about him as a person. And yeah, and I think the fact that his game Fest got so popular kind of fits into his ego a lot, and I think that what led to his downfall.
he was prone to emotional outbursts, which is understandable for a game dev, honestly, especially for someone with so much pressure placed upon him. But much of that stress was caused by his massive ego. I
Yeah,
mean, he did create a critically acclaimed masterpiece of a game after all. He has the right to be a jerk to everyone because he's just better
yeah.
than everyone
You
else.
see?
One of the main things that first brought him infamy was when a Japanese game dev asked this question: what are some recent Japanese games that inspire you? And our holy Mr. Fish responded by saying this:
They suck. I'm sorry. Like, you guys need to get with the times and make better interfaces and like update your technology.
Okay, I didn't see this video before. What an asshole! What the fuck, man? Bro, Final Fantasy. There's so Chrono Triggers. There are so many Mario. Have you heard about fucking Mario? Bro, what the fuck, man? Bro, Tekken, Street Fighters, Ninja Gaiden, like so many games was made by Japanese people. His game, oh fucking hell. Yeah, he had never read a story before. Yeah, like what the fuck? I haven't seen this video before. This is the first time I saw this particular like interview questions. Oh, this pisses me off.
Totally kicking your ass. Back then, you guys were the king of the world, but your time has passed.
this would only be the start of his downfall as more and more people started to become more critical of him. The way this man operated, he couldn't just stay quiet and let the controversy naturally die down. Of course, he had to respond in his own snarky way because he was Phil freaking Fish, and he couldn't let these lowly critics get a hold of him. This guy had a massive case of Twitter fingers, and he couldn't just keep his mouth shut for 1 second. Any criticism towards himself or the game would be met with some snarky Twitter comment where he would act holier than thou towards whoever he was addressing. This inability to handle criticism or any negativity directed towards him really hurt his game and his journey as a game dev. This man was undeniably talented, but he certainly let that talent go to his head. Sure, he made
Yeah, like PES is undeniably an incredible game. And why so incredible? Well, for one, the engine that was used to make Fast is a custom engine. He himself created an entirely new engine just for this game. And that's how this game got the like very nice feature where
criticism or any negativity directed towards him really hurt his game.
yeah, you
And
see, like you can turn in 3D world but in 2D space. Back then it was revolutionary. No game back then could done that. No game. None. His game was the first, and which then cascades into a genre. That's why we have so many 2D game, but in 3D world, meaning you can pan around, you can turn around. His game was the first. And his game looks like it took some inspiration from Japanese games. Yeah, it does. And he has the balls to say that. What the fuck?
in his journey as a game dev, this man was undeniably talented, but he certainly let that talent go to his head. Sure, he made a cool indie game, but there's no need to act superior to other game devs just because you have certain views about the games they make. Phil Fish is the embodiment of pride, and that is why he is our first deadly sin.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
Ah, Todd Howard. It's so hard for me to like you. I want to like you.
Okay. Sorry for pausing too much, but I have a lot of opinions about Todd. I adore him as a game developer. When I was really young, I was obsessed with Todd. I watched so many documentaries about Oblivion and Skyrim, and then I watched the living shit out of the Fallout 4 conference. I love his presentation style. I love his like charisma. I love like his enthusiasm about games. I love it. Like even to this day, my way of presenting to people whenever I do a presentation all comes from him. All comes from Todd Howard. Like yeah, like the confidence, like aura of him. Like I love this guy to death. But slowly but surely, his aura kind of dies out as more games he released. It's a bit Fallout 4 was okay, but then Starfield was a major disappointment, and then Fallout 76, and then everything else come after. And yeah, but still, I love him as a game developer. Poor guy, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Like he gets so much shit because he's the face of Bethesda. He's the one that's stands up there and gives out a kick ass presentations. Love him to the death.
I really do. You were seen as one of the GOATs back in the day, but now that image has fallen. For context, if you somehow don't know who Todd Howard is, he's the director and executive producer for Bethesda. Man, I say Bethesda weird. Bethesda. I can't say it. Responsible
Bethesda! Holy shit.
for games like Fallout 3 and 4.
What happened to the next Elder Scrolls game? They put a lot of focus on Starfield. So they have a teaser for Elder Scrolls 6. And that's it. Done. What you got is a PNG of the logo. And that's it. So I think when they finish Starfield, I think this is where they start focusing on the next Elder Scroll game. And I believe this is a rumor. I'm not sure if it's true or not. This would be the last Elder Scroll game made by Todd Howard. At least directed by Todd Howard.
Skyrim, Oblivion, and just a whole lot of Elder Scrolls games apparently. If you know Bethesda, you would know how much they love money. With their add-ons that require these dumb token things that no one in their right
Oh my god, I forgot. Oh my god. Do you know the catalyst? That kickstart the entire microtransactions business. You know who did it? You know who did it? Freaking Bethesda with the damn horse in Oblivion. I think this guy got If this guy is gonna cover that. Holy crap! I just remember that was the catalyst. That was the start. That was like the canon event. It kickstarted everything. EA just followed suit. The catalyst was Bethesda. Oh my god! I just realized that. Okay, I'm sure this guy will mention that. Let's see.
And should buy. I honestly don't fully blame the dude for every single greedy thing the company has done, but at this point, he's kind of become the face of it. From YouTube parody songs, to video essays, to compilations of him lying. He's lost a lot of favors he's had with consumers, and with the recent release of Starfield, it really feels like he's lost any goodwill he had left. He's an undeniably talented guy with a good resume, but his reputation has been utterly tarnished by some of his actions. His public perception is at an all-time low right now, and that's why I put this man here as the embodiment of greed.
Okay, he didn't mention that, but back in the days where microtransactions was not a thing at all, like zero, almost to none, Bethesda released this. Okay, Bethesda Oblivion Horse DLC. Yeah, you see how DLC started. The damn horse armor. This is where everything started. This is the canon event. On this day, 15 years ago, Bethesda released the horse ammo pack. And this DLC right here, the first DLC in gaming history. It was so expensive back in the day, and all of that money was just for this horse. What is the beginning of cosmetic microtransactions? That was the first. This is the first. This is the catalyst. And every single publishers, game studios after that, EA, Ubisoft, they did the same thing. Because, right, even though people were mad about it, were mad at Bethesda for releasing this, there were so many people that bought this damn DLC just for this damn thing on the horse. They quickly realized that, and boom, now we have microtransactions. This was the catalyst. Never thought microtransactions came from Bethesda. Yeah, I think that's why this guy put this like for the greed. It just makes sense. Holy crap!
Man, there are a lot of people I can put on here. A ridiculous amount. But no one would be better than Yandere Dev. Oh, poor.
Oh, Yandere Death. Oh my god. I think you are too young to know this, but holy crap. This. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, oh my god. It kickstarts so many memories just from this. Okay, I will let the videos plays out and see.
Underrated dev. I originally was gonna put this guy at Sloth, but I felt like this would be more fitting. I know there are many familiar with this guy, especially after the recent allegations. But what if I told you this guy was a deviant even before he got famous? Oh my god, what a shocker. A dude who made a game about stalking and creeping on high school girls is a deviant. Who would have thought? From the very beginning of his presence on the internet, he always felt alienated by others. Early on, he would browse incel forums under the name of Ava Zephon and just talk about his loneliness. His presence in these forums went relatively unnoticed, but over time, he began to become more and more notorious within the site, mainly due to his odd, depraved behavior, constantly ranting about how lonely he is, and his plans for getting a girlfriend. People were fed up with his behavior. You know you're bad when an incel forum doesn't accept you. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but I'm pretty sure the people on the site were much less extreme than the incels we know today. Yeah, they were kind of bitter and frustrated, but they weren't nearly as depraved as the ones around today. One thing that helped Yandere Dev distract him from his crippling loneliness was game development. For him, it was one of those things he was able to get validation from, or at least he thought he could get validation from it. A notable moment early on would be when he showed off his 3D fighting game and got upset when other people gave him constructive criticism, instead of the praise and attention he desired from other people.
I feel like there is a pattern here. A lot of these game developers, especially small ones, they don't take criticism well. Oh yeah, the infamous Yan dev. I watched Yan since Yan Sim since 2015. It became a demo in 20 since then. That's not the original one. The original one goes way back.
People. As time passed, his loneliness and need for validation would only get worse, but one thing would come along to change that. Yandere Simulator. It was a hit among such a large audience of people. 4chan users, casual gamers, YouTubers, hell, even little kids. It introduced many people to the yandere trope, and it finally felt like all eyes were on him. This man struck gold, and all he needed to do was to secure the bag, and he'd be good. Despite that, a lot of the things in the game would come into question, more notably some of the more suggestive mechanics
I remember this. I was so young and I was watching Markiplier as well. Like, holy crap, what the fuck is this?
in the game. Usually this wouldn't be too much of a problem, but considering they were high school girls, it kinda led to some controversy. Despite this, his deviancy would take a backseat for a while, as his attention would mainly be spent on the game. Or emails. I don't know, probably emails. And his need for admiration would be fulfilled by the popularity that came with it, but nothing lasts forever, whether it be a feeling or fame. And as the game lost a lot of its popularity, so did Yandere Dev lose a lot of his satisfaction from the attention he got. And once
Yeah, okay, I want to talk about this. I personally check his source code, and it was the most horrendous shit I have ever seen in my life. Holy crap! Some of the features in the game was built with duct tapes and stick. And it was held together by fucking rice. It it's a surprise that this game even run. Holy crap! Oh, the YouTuber Cub Scout is the only guy that can make generate similar stuff that yeah by exploring the errors that they made. Oh my god! Wow, the way that he built the game is so brain dead. It's hard to watch.
a lot of his popularity, so did Yandere Dev lose a lot of his satisfaction from the attention he got, and once again, he began to fall back into his old ways. To be clear, he was never really well adjusted per se, just rather occupied by something else. During this period, he became a laughingstock. Many memes and videos would be made attempting to mock his character, but while all this was happening, something else was brewing behind the scenes. Back in 2023, some serious allegations against Yandere Dev came out, claiming he was talking inappropriately to a 16-year-old. Now, I remember watching this apology video, and let me tell you, it was so cringe. Genuinely, I was embarrassed. Surprisingly, he did sort of own up to his weird behavior, but he tried to paint himself as the victim during all of this, almost painting himself as an unwilling participant, when in
Well,
reality,
actually, I didn't know about this. This is actually news to me.
he should have taken responsibility as he was the older one here. The man had been chasing validation his whole life, but he never wanted to put in the work to achieve that. He loved the idea of being mired by a beautiful woman that would take care of him. He loved the idea of having adoring fans that would constantly praise the game and himself. And his addiction to quick validation ultimately came to a head and ruined him permanently. Lust got the better of him, and it only took a decade.
Wait, so is he in jail? Okay, that's news to me. I didn't know about that. That's actually in character to him. Yeah.
Next
Okay,
up is in
next
fact a
Envy.
Roblox developer, one named Mary Rukavina. Okay. She was a pretty prominent Roblox game designer and became the lead developer for a Roblox dev group called Sonar Studios. There, she would help make games such as Creatures of Sonoria, which was basically a survival
Actually, never played Roblox before. Is it good? Is it good? I don't know. If it's good or not. No. Okay. Okay, but this one is new to me. I never played Roblox. I don't know.
game where you play as a fantasy creature. This isn't what she's most well known for though. One of her biggest issues is her constant use of other people's ideas and not being able to handle criticism or comparison. She's been caught on multiple occasions plagiarizing designs and even bragging about it, claiming they should be grateful. She would rule her Discord server with an iron fist like some sort of dictator, and it's clear she had issues with other people's success. A lot of that jealousy would translate to arrogance, where she'll blatantly steal designs for her game. Just kind of a mess all around. Envy is something all creators feel at a certain point, but that doesn't mean you're justified in stealing other people's ideas. Just because you think you deserve their success more. This is what true envy looks like, and it looks like trash.
That's it? Okay. The last time I played Roblox was just 18. It was a Pokemon game. It was good. Really? Nice. So, Yeah,
We
let's
all suffer
continue.
from scope creep, wanting to add more and more and more onto whatever you're doing. I'm actually going to attribute the sin of gluttony to me. Yeah, it doesn't feel great being lumped next to a narcissist and a predator, but it is what it is. We always think to ourselves, yeah, why don't I add this one little thing, just one more thing? Adding more to the game, not allowing ourselves to breathe, and instead getting caught up in the extravagance of it all. It's important to stay focused when you're making a game, and an extremely common issue all of us go through is just adding too much. I briefly worked on a Mother 4 fan game, and it was a really fun ride, but one thing I certainly struggled with is adding way too much content to the game. Coming up with more cool
Yeah, like, yeah, adding way too much content to the game can lead to, because like when you add so much content to the game, the player couldn't experience all of it, which then creates some, well, like it's very psychological in that way, because like a lot of players would like to finish a game 100%, but if you push too much content to it, the players couldn't finish it and they get bored and then they feel unaccomplished. So you have to have a balance between, like, okay, you have to like targets, like, okay, for the casual gamers, you can finish the entire thing without finish 100% through. And then we have like a normal gamer that, okay, maybe you can finish like 75% of the game content, but then you have a dedicated one, and then you, oh, those guys will speed run, will get all the achievements, get all the treasures, notes in the game, and those are the dedicated one. But if you put too much content into it, they couldn't finish it, and they will, and they are the most dedicated fan base out there. So don't do that.
but useless ideas that ultimately drag the entire team down. As a game dev, especially if you're working on a team, it's good to know when to stop, when to let things stay simple when they don't need to be complicated. There's no reason to add a pointless seasons mechanic in your RPG, or investing huge chunks of time in an optional area almost no one will see. Just focus on what's important.
Wrath.
Oh boy, this will be fun. I have two for this one actually. First is the Yeek dev. He seems like a good guy and I actually like Yeek. My liking for the game first started out ironically, but I started to actually like the game. First, I watched Running Shine's review of it 1,000 times, then I watched normal reviews, then I watched videos defending the game, then I joined the subreddit, and now it's on my Steam wishlist because I genuinely want to play it. But the fallout that was the release of this game was something else. The lead developer, Andrew Allison, kind of went on a whole tirade about how people didn't understand his game, and kind of directed his
Really, I didn't know about this game at all. Huh.
anger at the medium as a whole, saying this.
My mistake was thinking that video games are art. I wanted to make a game about a guy who's like a piece of shit, unlikable character who by the end of the game has to transform.
Yeah.
But too many gamers, when they look at this, when they play a game, they're so used to having to identify with the character that if they play a game where the main character is unlikable or has to do some bad stuff, they immediately get triggered by it.
But this was more of a heat of the moment.
Okay, that is a very interesting take. This brings up a very good questions. If we make a game where the main character is intentionally designed to be bad, like you intentionally design him to be bad so that the players would hate him, would that be a fun game? Because you are controlling the character. The fact that you don't like him, would that be fun? This is actually very good. That's very actually interesting. I guess the same thing could be applied for movies as well. What if you make a movie where the main character is like a dickhead? Like you just don't like the character at all. You actually hate him. But you have to follow the movie because, well, that's the main character. That's actually quite interesting. Okay.
Stuff, they immediately get triggered by it.
But this was more of a heat of the moment thing. He still works on the game to this day and has a pretty good attitude about the whole thing. Robert Romijn, on the other hand, man behind Digital Homicide Studios, is a completely different story. Well, it was founded by two brothers, but I'm mainly talking about Robert here. These two would churn out piece of garbage games.
Holy crap. Oh, I know this game. Oh, this game is the reason why Steam now has a more strict early access review process. This game is a catalyst for that. Holy crap, this game was horseshit.
And unlike most devs who acknowledge their pieces of garbage are pieces of garbage, these guys thought they were churning out masterpieces, acting as if their games were equivalent to The Last Supper, The School of Athens, or This Thing I Made in 6th grade. They did not handle criticism well and would specifically target their anger towards one YouTuber, Jim Sterling, someone
Oh, Jim Starling. Is he still around? I haven't heard about him much.
who had previously made fun of one of their games before. There was a whole DMCA takedown, and even a lawsuit filed by Robert himself. Not only were these two wrathful and conceited, but they were just plain stupid. They had censored negative comments, refused to take accountability for their bad reputation, and overall, play victim while attacking others. Truly wrathful behavior right there.
Jim Starling? He's a very popular reviewers back then. He reviews like movies, he reviews like games, and he plays a character every time he reviews. Which like in the suit that you just saw. Uh yeah, he plays a character, like a dictator almost. But I really like his reviews. Like he doesn't sugarcoat anything. If he really likes it, he will say it. If he doesn't like anything, oh, he will tell you.
One who had previously himself. Not only were these two wrathful and conceited, but they were just plain stupid. They had censored negative comments, refused to take accountability for their bad reputation, and overall, play victim while attacking others. Truly wrathful behavior right there. Brianna Wu. And
So like angry video game nerd, yeah, kinda, but not really to the level of Angry Joe. I really like Angry Joe back then.
name most of you haven't heard or haven't heard in a while. A relic of the Gamergate days that has gained some relevance recently due to her statements about a certain conflict going on right now. We're not here to talk about either of those things though. I lived all of my life on the internet without knowing what Gamergate was, and I'm not about to find out. What I am here to talk about is the final deadly sin, sloth. Now, Brianna Wu is a game developer, and she did in fact release a game. And let's just say for the contents of the game, it took way too long for it to release. If you want to have any idea how bad this game is, just look at the Google user reviews
Oh,
and see.
oh, 7% like this game. I am more curious of the 7% who actually click on the like. I think they're though. I think she's the one that liked the game. I love Angry Joe. Yeah, I love it. I love him too. I love all his reviews back then when he were actually reviewing the game. Right now he doesn't do that anymore. That's a new record. Yeah, this is oh my god.
For yourself. Many were disgruntled with how long the game was taking. For reference, it was first set to release in 2013.
Oh, bro, look at that. Who remastered graphics, by the way. Oh, RTX off, RTX on right here. Holy wow.
But didn't release on computer until freaking 2016. Yeah, the mobile version released in 2014, but it shouldn't take 2 years to port it
Mostly negative. Oh, what the? What's this game all about?
to PC. All this laziness, ineptitude, whatever. The length of time it took to make this game did not conjure up the
It looks so bad. What the fuck is this? It looks like it was made in 2002. Ubisoft levels of false advertisement. Yeah.
results one would expect, especially considering there was a whole team working on this game. Even worse is that later on, the mobile version would be updated and users had to pay for the game again just to play it. And Brianna Wu really expected consumers to buy the game again just to play the update. Not only
Okay. Oh, she's a Karen. Look at the. Oh, God. Look at the hair. Oh, do I need to say more?
and Brianna Wu really expected consumers to buy the game again just to play the update. Not only did you move at a snail's pace when you made this game, but you had the audacity to double charge people for a game they supposedly already own. Not only are you lazy, but you're also greedy, wrathful, envious. Hell, you're all of the 7 deadly sins. Oh yeah, and Only Plays did the playthrough of this game, and it's hilarious. You should watch it.
I know that graphics doesn't matter in games, but god damn, I cannot even look at it. Yeah, I think it's not about like how dated the graphic is. It's more like it doesn't have a style to it. Because by that definitions, all PS1 game would look bad. It's not. OPS1 game looks good because it has a style, it has consistency. Her game doesn't have any consistency at all. Like, what the fuck is. What the fuck was this? What's this? It looks like my. I don't know, a 2-year-old was making this. Holy crap.
All of the same. I hope I have thoroughly enriched your mind, fellow aspiring game dev. Please, if you're going to make a game, don't.
Okay, that was a very good video then. Like that. I really like that. Oh, I couldn't like that. But yeah, that was a really nice video. Thank you for recommending me to that video.